Welcome to Algebra 2, Unit 3, Section 8, Factoring. The end of the lesson, I can factor quadratics. Okay, so the first part of this, we're going to talk about factoring, and when we factor, what we're doing is we're looking for what number is multiplied by each value in a group of terms, right? And basically what this is distributive property. Let's see if I can spell correctly here. Distributive property in reverse. That's what factoring is. We're doing distributive property in reverse. Instead of taking a number and multiplying it, let's say we had 2 times x plus 1, we'd multiply, the quantity 2 times x plus 1, right? We would have 2 times, well, not 2, but x plus 1. We would multiply 2, we would end up with 2x plus 2. Now we look at this and we say, hey, look, I want to get there's a 2 that's in each of these, I want to take it out. And we go in reverse. Equal sign means this goes in both directions, right? Always keep that in mind. So let's take a look at this. Factor out using the greatest common factor. So the question you ask yourself is, what number goes into 5x and 10? Well, you can look in there and say, well, 5 goes into both. So you take 5 and you put it out front like so. And then just divide. 5x divided by 5 is x. 10 divided by 5 is 2, and we're finished. Now that's for a numerical value. What if there's a variable? So here I have x squared and 3x, and that means that there's an x multiplied by both of those. So we pull that out. So x comes up front. X squared divided by x is x. 3x divided by x is 3. In this case, I would look at each number, and like I said, look at each one separately. So is there an x in all of these? Yes, and the lowest exponential value is x, just x to the first. What number goes into 30 and 40 and 20? Well, 10 does. That's the only number that goes in all three, right? 10. So we just take out 10x. So 30 divided by 10 is 3. X cubed divided by x is x squared. Minus 40 divided by 10 is minus 4. X squared divided by x is x. Negative 20 divided by 10 is 2, and x over x cancels. So that would be done. So you go ahead and try these, and let's see how you do. Alright, now that you've had a chance to work these, let's see what you got for answers, right? 14 goes into both. Right, so this will be 14 up front, and x minus 2. No, not x minus 2. And it wouldn't be 14. Oy. It'd be 7. I'm not thinking. So this would be 2x, and this would be minus 1. Boy, oh boy, that would have been embarrassing. Okay, one of the things here we do want to, I like writing things in descending order, so I would write this as 3x squared plus 3x. So in this case, 3 is in both, and there's an x in both. So we would have 3x, ooh, is that ugly? 3x out front. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. X squared divided by x is x. 3x over 3x is, that's 1, right? Alright, now in this one, the only value that goes in all three of these, there's not an x in all three. So you can't divide an x out. There's always look and make sure there's that value in all of them, and that's not it. But 11 does go into all three of these. So this would be 11 times x squared minus 2x minus 4. Alright, now we get to factoring trinomials. Alright, so what we want to do in here is to find a factor of C that combines to be B. Right? And before factoring, make sure the trinomial is in what we call standard form. Right? Alright, so I want to come over here and give you some extra notes. So find a place to write this down. So we're given x squared plus or minus bx plus c. This sign tells us the sign is the same in both factors. This tells us what the sign is. B is the sum, right? Of the factors of C, of the two numbers that multiply together to make C. So that tells us the sum of those. If we have minus C, this tells us signs are different. This tells us the sign of the factor of with the larger value. Okay, so the factor that's going to have a larger value, that's what it's going to be. That's the sign of it. Alright, and this value here is the difference, right? We subtract of the factors of C. Okay, so now we come over here and we'll take a look at these. We'll try some of these and we'll see in practice how this works. So my first clue is plus here, right? For plus 6 in front of the 6. So, and then this minus. So this says both of these are minus. So I'm going to have x minus x minus. So what are the factors of 6 that add up to 5? Well, the factors of 6 are 1 and 6, which 1 to plus 6 is 7. That doesn't work. And 2 and 3. And 2 and 3 do add up to 5, so those are our answers. The second one here, we're going to end up with z, right, in each. Z and z. This plus here tells me both are the same, and this plus tells me these are both plus. So what are the two numbers that multiply together to make 45 that add up to 14? Well, factors of 45, 1 and 45, that doesn't add up to 14. And the next two factors are 9 and 5. So we put 9 here and 5 here, and those do add up to 14. Now, these are a little different because we have that minus sign. So what we end up putting here is we put our x, and then I put a plus in one and a minus in the other. So what are the factors of 30 that are 1 apart? Right? So we can look down 30 and 1, nope. 15 and 2, yeah, we're getting closer, right? 10 and 3, nope. 6 and 5, yup. Which one's positive? Whatever the larger one is. 6, 5 goes there. Again, we're going to look here, y and y. What are the factors of negative 21 that add up to 4? So this is plus and this is minus. Well, the factors of 21 that are 3 apart, well, it's 1 and 21 and 3 and 7. So 7 is going to go with the positive because it's the bigger one. I always do it that way. And this is minus 3. Alright, why don't we try these on our own. You'll notice I've changed this one. Look on your paper. It says minus 3y. Make it an 8. That's a typo. I need to fix that. Go to work. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this one. These are both m. This is plus, so both are pluses, right? Both. So plus and plus. Factors of 27 that add up to 12 are 3 and 9. Over here, I have W and W. This is minus, so the signs are different. I'm going to put my minus up front because that's where I'm going to put my bigger value. The factors of 30 that are 1 apart are 6 and 5. Over here, I've got y and y. It's plus with a minus here, so these are both minus. The factors of 15 that add up to 8 would be 3 and 5. Then over here, again, I have minus with plus, so I'm going to put plus here and minus. The factors of 9 that are 8 apart, well, that would be 9 and 1. Alright, so the rule of this, when we so what we have to do here is we have to do a little extra work. If a is bigger than 1, we have to find AC, which is a times c. And then we're going to find the factors So we're going to find the factors of AC. That add up to B, or the difference is B. Okay? So in this case, AC, come over here, AC 2 times 7 is 14. Factors of 14 that add up to 15. So basically what we do here is we say 2x squared, and we split it. All right. So 2x squared, and I say plus 14x plus 1x plus 7. This is called factoring by grouping. So now I group these. I'm going to group this one, and I'm going to group this one. So there's a 2 in each one of these and an x, so I divide that out. So 2 goes into 2x squared x times. 2x goes into 14x plus 7. There's nothing between x and 7 other than 1, so we'd say plus 1, and we say x plus 7. So now we take this apart. Remember how we showed distributive property when we multiply. Now we could take 2x plus 1 and put it in parentheses, and then x plus 7. Okay. So let's take a look at this one. 7 times negative 12. So AC is equal to negative 84. Okay, so AC, as we said, is equal to negative 84. So we're going to go through and figure that 7x squared. So what are the factors of negative 84 that are 6 apart? Well, those happen to be negative 14x and positive 6x minus 12. And we want to match these up because you can see here 7 and 14 match up really nicely together, as do 6 and 12. So we can get factors out of that. So we're going to do that right now. So my greatest common factor here is 7x. So 7x squared divided by 7x is x. Negative 14 divided by 7 is minus 2. And x divided by x is 1, so that comes out. The greatest common factor between these two is 6, so it's plus 6. So 6x divided by 6 is x. Negative 12 divided by 6 is negative 2. You want to make sure that these two are identical. Then you know you've done it right. So we would end up with 7x plus 6 times x minus 2. And now we're done. Okay, so in this problem here, AC is equal to negative 30, right? So the factors of negative 30 that are 13 apart, or 30 that are 13 apart, are 15 and 2. So I'm going to say 3y squared minus 15y plus 2y. And if I added these two together, I would end up with negative 13y minus 10. So our greatest common factor we're going to do is we're going to combine these two and these two, right? So take my greatest common factor out, that's 3y. So 3y squared divided by 3y is y. Negative 15 divided by 3 is negative 5y over y cancels. Plus, the greatest common factor between 2y and negative 10 is 2, and that gives me 2y divided by 2 is y. Negative 10 divided by 2 is 5. I have, again, as I said, these two here are identical, so now I've done it correctly. 3y plus 2 times y minus 5. Okay, so I have 4 and negative 27 here. And you know what? 4 times negative 27, what the heck? What does that come out to? 4 times negative 27. What do we get? Negative 108. Okay, so the factors of negative 108 that are 3 apart, right? So AC equals negative 108. Well, I know 27 and 4. It's got to be closer than that, right? So what if we went with 16, right? So this is one of those things that it's handy to have a calculator. So we're going to divide that by 16. Let's see what do we get with that. Nope, 16 doesn't work. So 108, like we said, 27 doesn't work. 4 doesn't. 4 and 27, that's too far apart. What about 12? 108 divided by 12. What does that come out to? Ooh, 9. Oh, those are 3 apart, 12 and 9. So I'm going to say 4m squared plus 12m minus 9m minus 27. Again, we're going to group this, and when I have a minus sign, I like to put the parentheses in front of that, because that's why I know I'm going to factor out a negative value. Greatest common factor between 4 and 12 is 4, and there's an m in both, so I'm going to take an m out. 4m squared divided by 4m is m. 12m divided by 4m is plus 3. 9 goes into both negative 9 and negative 27, so it's going to be negative 9. So negative 9m divided by negative 9 is positive m. Negative 27 divided by negative 9 is 3. So now we can combine this and end up with 4m minus 9 equals m plus 3. Take a good look at this, because it's not always easy to factor by grouping. And make sure you take a good long look, maybe at some of the other work I'm going to post here to give you some practice. Have a great day, and peace.